Florida Governor Rick Scott is planning to sue the Obama administration. I'm Ric Blackwell. This story tops your Newsmax Now update. The Republican governor says President Obama is withholding funds for Florida's hospitals because the state won't expand Medicaid. President wants the program expanded to some 800,000 low-income people, but Governor Scott says the federal government can't force his state to do that. The pilot of a small chopper that landed on the Capitol building's lawn is expected in a D.C. court later this afternoon. The chopper made it all the way through Washington, D.C.'s secure airspace, piloted by Florida mailman Doug Hughes. He says he wanted to deliver letters demanding campaign finance reform to Congress.
You could just see him with his helmet on, quite calmly just piloting the thing into the lawn. There was no noise coming from him. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't shouting.
Questions are being raised today about how Hughes was able to make it through what is supposed to be some of the most secure airspace on the planet. There are serious questions today about the training received by the Oklahoma volunteer deputy facing charges in the death of a suspect. The newspaper Tulsa World says some supervisors at the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office were ordered to forge training records for Robert Bates. 3 who refused were reportedly reassigned. Bates is facing manslaughter charges in the death earlier this month of Eric Harris. He apparently meant to use his taser, but fired his handgun instead. The issue of gay marriage coming up for presidential hopeful Marco Rubio. Although he says he believes that marriage should be between a man and a woman, Rubio also says he would go to a gay wedding.
Yeah, but somebody in my life that I love and care for, of course I would. I mean, I'm not going to hurt them simply because I disagree with the choice they've made or I disagree with the decision they've made.
Rubio says it's like going to a person's second wedding, even though as a Catholic, he doesn't believe in divorce. A Long Island doctor is now accused of trying to hire hitmen to take out a fellow doctor. Dr. Anthony Moscheto allegedly used guns, drugs, and blank prescriptions to hire the hitman, who turned out to be undercover cops.
I can't imagine what evil this man has already committed and what evil he had planned in the future.
Cardiologist also allegedly tried to have the rival doctor's office set on fire earlier this year. He's pleaded not guilty. Russian president says Western sanctions against his country just don't work in the end. In the annual call-in show, Russian President Vladimir Putin says the challenges to Russia's economy will ultimately make it stronger. He also says it's useless to put pressure on Russia using those means. And Etsy, one of the most popular do-it-yourself e-commerce sites in the world, made its Wall Street debut today. The company is now valued at nearly $4 billion, and shares already doubled on its opening day on Wall Street. Etsy has nearly 30 million items for sale on its website. That's your latest Newsmax Now update. We're going to have more news coming your way in 30 minutes. I'm Ric Blackwell.